All right, guys, where are my other information collectors? You know who you are, like the ones loving to go to webinars, loving to read courses. You're at Barnes and Noble like every other weekend buying books that are going to sit on your shelf because isn't that like totally what they're there for? And just collect, 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 read, read, read. But when it comes to the follow through, not so much. So that's me prior to meeting with Dr. Hood. I was able to talk to her very candidly about this problem and share with her what my concerns were of like, hey, I've been with coaches before. Each of them has done their thing. But sometimes I walk away also feeling like, wow, like I paid for a lot, but maybe I didn't necessarily walk away with some tangible changes. And that's a fear, right? As a coach, you don't want to hear that kind of concern from somebody. But Seida was able to address it. She provided a playbook so that I knew every step of the way what was expected of her, what was expected of me, how we make this partnership work. I really love that God was first in the whole thing. So I had this accountability higher than myself versus just another payment going away. And the process was just phenomenal is not a good enough word. Like it's not strong enough. I literally was life changing for me. I was a hot mess walking into that session, and one session with her in which I was able to just share everything that was unclear, what was not going on. She was able to do more with me in those 2 hours than in 4 years prior to that. And so and not her 4 years prior to that, but other coaches and books, etc. So if you're a collector, Dr. Hood will help you start doing. And I love that she addressed that fear and helped me put things into action. Something I really valued about Dr. Hood's experience is that she's a licensed therapist as well as a coach. So there was this beautiful blend of her being able to see into my soul while also letting me know when we don't have to dig 7 layers deep, when we just need to go to 2 and then move to the next step. And that was really important for someone like me who really always wants to understand root cause. I love details. I'm inquisitive. I really want to know the why behind everything. And so when I came to her, my biggest problem was that I was having a lack of clarity and I really needed to get some firm decisions made about my next steps and where I was going to go this year. She was able to help me see like where I needed those answers and where I needed to just take a baby step, where I needed to work on the 5-year plan and where I needed to really just get something done today. And that's huge. I think when you have someone like me who has diagnosed ADHD and is the textbook example of scatterbrained and has to use systems for organization and can do amazing for everyone else, but not for themselves, that it's a strange kind of person to try to take everything and move it from a rubber band ball into an organized drawer of color-coded rubber bands. And Dr. Hood has that ability. So I was really impressed in what I had seen about the way she shows up for herself, the way she does her marketing, the way all of her documents were perfectly created. And when I saw that organization, that level of detail, and the fact that she has this very big personality that is so her, I knew that she was somebody I needed to work with and entrust my fears and everything to. And she helped me, and I'm so thankful for it forever. So you know your friend who can make a long story longer and then add on to that one? That's me. And working with Dr. Hood, I loved that as I would be telling a story or trying to explain, she would ask a question and I would be unpacking it and she would be like, okay, all right, I'm going to interrupt you. Can, explain why, like it wasn't done in a rude way, but we had already set the boundaries that this would be allowed. And I felt really good because I would be like, my brain would be on this tangent running down this path, chasing a train. And she would bring me back to having conversations that were on the train. So I was sitting in the car, enjoying the ride instead of always chasing it. And that was really important. And it's not an easy thing for other people to do with me when I'm talking about me. And I really enjoy also how she taps into God in this way that you don't really see in business. I feel like we're so afraid to really go all in with him. And I love that the way she met with me, it was filled with grace from starting off in prayer to, I could see her praying throughout it and not just the like, dear God, why kind of prayers, but truly like, how do I answer this? Lord, give me wisdom. And that really impressed me. If I had $1 million, she'd be my personal coach if she were open to that kind of thing. But since I don't, you get to enjoy her too. So enjoy the wisdom that she brings, enjoy the humor, enjoy the permission to be fully you, and enjoy the fact that it's all done in a really affordable way for the value that she offers. Her program really should be 5 times more than what she's charging. Walking into my session with Dr. Hood, I was about as clear as what it's like when you're driving through a snowstorm and everything is completely white while it's also like safety level issue kind of snow. Probably actually when you're driving after the governor's closed the state. I just really, I was a mess. I was just coming back from this space where clarity was just not, it didn't feel within reach. It really didn't when I reached out to her. And I've shared with her my heart and she listened and she helped me understand where I needed to move, where I needed to continue praying and where I needed to rest, places where I was trying to do too much. And so I stand here today and like I get emotional sometimes because I think of how like I met with her that day and it was like putting a whole bunch of feelings into a journal, getting it all out, and somebody like being like, okay, I have answers. Do you want them? But not in a way where it was like that she was telling me what to do, but asking more questions to dive a little deeper in some cases, or saying like, hey, how does this feel not having this completed? And so there was this roadmap the entire time. And I like to think of it as like when you're traveling cross country, there's many ways you can do it. Her roadmap gave me very specific directions, but I still got to choose how I enacted them. So I'm really thankful. I stand here today with clarity on my path forward, executing on it, finding creative ways, and feeling more like myself than I have in years. I think oftentimes when we work with coaches and when we think about big wins, we want this plain skywriting huge moment that the world can say. And I know that's why I waited to do my review, because I was waiting for like this big reveal. But the big win for me was all of the small things coming together to be truly life changing. So I could have met with Dr. Hood and she solved this one big problem. And I walk away being able to celebrate that my life looks completely different in this one area. But instead, she gave me the tools where I was able to make a lot of little changes that moved the needle so that I'm further down the path, but who I am while walking that path is different. I'm able to handle things differently. I'm able to look at things with more confidence. I'm able to know when I should own something versus when something's being put upon me that I shouldn't accept. And those are all things that when you understand them, your walk is different. The way you look at life, the way I look at God, even my faith and how it's executing, they're very different now than the day I sat down with her. I really enjoy the fact that my big win is a lot of little wins. And I know without any doubt that by the end of this year, things will look really, really different and I'll feel that huge win, but it will be because of all these little wins that were a direct result of meeting with Seida.